Dark magic, Scholomance mumbo-jumbo on the old count, divided him up into something that resembled a Borg collective and isolated anything about his personality that was non-villainous in only one of his various manifestations. Yes, Dracula had been a master of Scholomance, a mystical school that had trained sorcerers for centuries. According to legend, the devil himself was the school's headmaster. Well, Zoe and I shook things up in hell a bit. We replaced Hades with Athena. She had a bitchy streak herself. Zoe could tell that story better than I could. But the other gods on Olympus had her under control. Besides, ruling hell suited her. She did it well. And while she was always a goddess who wanted more power, and in a sense, she had it, she was never the destroy the world out of spite kind of devil. With her in charge at the Scholomance, Zoe and I learned that the school also offered another path, the path of light. Zoe and I went through it. We were able to isolate the one part of Dracula after the sisters had divided his essence, where any semblance of goodness remained. We got him back to the Scholomance and, though he had been a master of the darkness before, he engaged the trials to become an initiate in the path of light. He passed. Throw the confetti, toot a few horns. By combining our powers gleaned from the Scholomance, Dracula, Zoe, and I were able to destroy what remained of his darkness. That is, whatever of it the sisters hadn't held on to themselves. That was the guy I had riding with me. Dracula sans the evil. Still eccentric as ever. But, look who's talking, right? I'd say he was my new sugar daddy, but it wasn't like that. The weird sisters were setting up a club down in New Orleans. Zoe and I took down the club they'd set up in Kansas City already. Zoe was preggers, so she was sitting this adventure out. But I bit Dracula, turned him into a daywalker like me, and we hit the open road. Not any daywalker could turn other vampires into our kind. I was the alpha daywalker. I'd been made by an accident, through a botched attempt by the Reapers to shield my soul while the vampiric curse left my body. You had to be made like me to pass on the daywalker variants to other bloodsuckers. Before we left town, Dracula got me a new vehicle. Quite generous from a vampire I'd only known a short while. I think he was grateful that he had a chance to live life as someone other than the most famous monster in the history of horror. He bought me a Toyota Sienna, a minivan. He thought it was hilarious. Sienna driving a Sienna. I used to love my name. I thought it was cool, unique, and kind of badass. That was before people started associating it with the #1 rated vehicle in safety and functionality among soccer moms nationwide. He insisted we need the space. Even as daywalkers, it was good to have a place to take cover, especially since we were vulnerable at night. Besides, the van was a hybrid. More irony, I know, since I was a hybrid of a sort myself. It got great gas mileage, though. Since Drac was an old fart, I thought I'd go retro with my music choices. What's better for a road trip than a little journey? I belted it out as we headed down the open road. Don't stop believin'. Dracula tilted his head. Please keep the volume down. Party pooper. I thought you'd like old music. Since you're so old. This is not old. I turned the radio down. I know what you'd like. You enjoy The King? Dracula raised an eyebrow. The King of where? The King of rock and roll, genius. Look, we can even make the song our own. I ain't nothing but a vampire, biting all the time. I ain't never killed a rabbit 'cause they taste like turpentine. Dracula shuddered. Do they? I never bit one. I stay away from bunny rabbits. I shuddered. You're scared of bunnies?